Hey guys, Danny here from Metal Couch, and 2 weeks ago I released a review of Mastodon's The Hunter. And several of my subscribers urged me to take another 2 weeks, let the album sink in, and on the album's release date do another review of the album and see if my grading has changed, whether or not I still hate the album or what the deal is. So some of you may be asking, why are you releasing this review on Monday, September 26th? Well, that is because Amazon, they screwed up and sent me the album a day early. This is the limited deluxe edition of the album, and I'll go over what's inside here and how it compares to the limited edition later. Starting out with all the tracks. Digging in, we've got Black Tongue. Black Tongue is a perfect summary statement of how this album is. It showcases the vocals, how the vocals are going to sound for this album, how the guitars are going to sound for this album, the drumming, which the drumming isn't as powerful as the previous albums, but I can understand that because Braun has more vocal duties on this album. So Black Tongue is a great opener to this strange record. Then we get Curl of the Burl, which I had to watch the DVD bonus features, the track-by-track commentary, to know what the hell is going on, because frankly, I still don't like Curl of the Burl too much. It's just not a track that appeals to me very much. So, according to Braun, Curl of the Burl is about meth heads in the woods, chopping down trees, killing people with chainsaws, and making more meth. From the lyrical content of the song, I believe him, whether it was sarcasm or not. Moving on. Blasteroid. Blasteroid is like if you were to take every previous Mastodon album, Remission, Leviathan, Blood Mountain, Crack the Sky, put it in a blender. Turn it on Liquefy. Pour it out onto the table. That is what Blasteroid is. It is a combination of all of Mastodon's previous work rolled into one song. And it's a great song. It's one of my favorites off of this album. Then we get Stargasm. A lot of people may know that Stargasm, according to the band, is about having sex in space. After hearing this song, I do want to have sex in space. And to be honest, this song could have easily fit on Crack the Sky, and nobody would know. They could probably release Crack the Sky 20 years from now, stick Stargasm in there, and no one would notice. It's that much of a fit. Nonetheless, a good song. Well, another one of my favorites off the album, actually. Then we get Octopus Has No Friends. Despite the semi-hilarious name and the strange yet awesome guitar riff that's present throughout the whole song, vocals on this track have, Braun's vocals on this track have this, if you remember, when you were younger, there was a toy you could get where you would blow into it and it would make a train whistle. Sound like a train coming. That is like what Braun's vocals sound like on this. They put it through this weird filter and it sounds like a whistling noise. It's a really cool effect. I really like it. And so overall, I like Octopus Has No Friends despite, well, it has grown on me since my previous review. All the Heavy Lifting. Really, the only thing I can say bad about this song now, that I've given the album about another 20 listens since the last time I reviewed it, the only thing that bothers me about this song is the chorus. I really don't like the chorus to All That Heavy Lifting. Nonetheless, it's a good track. And then we get into the title track, The Hunter, which I have to explain something about The Hunter. This track is connected to another track on this album. I didn't notice this at first listen, but after hearing this album so many times, this track and the closing track, The Sparrow, they are connected. As if they were intended to be one longer song. They fit together like a glove. In fact, listen to those two songs back to back, and you'll hear it. So I have to give props for them for that, for having a a song connected to another song, but really, it's an okay track. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but it's nothing exceptional either. Then we get Dry Bone Valley. This is where Braun's vocals shine on this album. I really like Dry Bone Valley. Then again, I gave Dry Bone Valley a bit of a awesome praise in my last review. Then we get Thickening. Thickening is a mostly instrumental track, and it's about, according to the band, about a baby doing baby things. You know, being in a crib, playing around with toys. Basically, infant innocence. It's a largely instrumental track, and as you would expect, the instruments really shine here. Then we get, you know what? All I'm going to say about this next track, Creature Lives, listen to it, whatever you feel, continue to feel that way. For me, I still do not like this track, and I feel that it is so out of place with this album. It does not fit anywhere. So that's all I'm going to say about Creature Lives. Moving on. Spectralite. Spectralite is probably the most brutal track on this album. It takes no prisoners. It wants to punch you in the face, and it wants to rip you to pieces. And I like it. An awesome track. And another one of my favorites off the album. Bedazzled Fingernails is another song which has that crazy sounding guitar riff and almost has this country music style twang to it, but at the same time it's Mastodon, and they can take things and they can make them sound differently, but they're supposed to sound like this, and it's a mad track. It's not bad, but not exceptional either. Then we get The Sparrow, which the Hunter and the Sparrow are so connected. I don't know if it was intended to be that way, but that's what I get out of it. And The Sparrow is like some of the previous albums, such as Leviathan or Blood Mountain. They have these really mellow tracks at the end of the album. And as I mentioned before, this track is so mellow that you could play it at a funeral. And I really like The Sparrow. I really like the feel of it. Despite the fact that there are only I think it's 4 words in the song. There's only 4 words in it. And it's so simple. But at the same time, it's so... I can't even describe it in words. So what you get out of this album on the DVD, the track-by-track commentary is the most in-depth part. Clocks in at about 18 minutes. 18 minutes of Braun talking about all the tracks on the album. If you're looking for something that you saw like with the Blood Mountain DVD or the Crack the Sky DVD, which had over an hour of content on it, you're not going to find that on the bonus DVD of The Hunter. At most, there may be about 45 minutes of material, if that. Well, no, not even that. Let's see, the track-by-track commentary is about 18 minutes. The making of The Hunter is 6 minutes. And then all the videos and the visualizer put together maybe clock in at about 10 minutes. In terms of special features, you're really not getting much with this album. However, one thing I should point out, on the back of the booklet here, it says go to mastodonrocks.com/AR. Click Start to begin. You will be prompted to download the plugin. Turn on your speakers and web camera and turn off pop-up blockers. Hold the artwork on the front of this booklet to your web camera to become the Hunter. I have not tested out this feature yet. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I guess that's what makes surprises a surprise. Now, what is different about this version compared to the limited edition version that people bought for $50 off of the band's website? Well, there's not much different. You get a poster with the limited edition, and you get 2 bonus tracks, The Ruiner and Deathbound, one of which you can download for free from AdultSwim.com. So really think about what you're paying for here. I paid about $15 for this limited deluxe edition. And it comes with everything but those 2 bonus tracks in that poster. Think about what you paid for. Was it really worth 2 bonus tracks and a poster? Nonetheless, Deathbound is a good song. I really liked Deathbound. It was a B-side from the Crack the Sky sessions, and the video for it is priceless. Gratuitous puppet death and characters that look like they belong in Fraggle Rock killing each other. It's a hilarious video, and I love it. So what is my new grade for The Hunter? How much has this album grown on me? How much better does this album sound to me after a couple of weeks of listening to it? Originally, I gave this album, I think it was like a 6 or 6.5 out of 10. I'm probably going to give this an 8.5. And that's being very generous. Granted, there's really only one track I can't really tolerate, but Creature Lives, but other than that, this overall is a good album. And I understand, after watching the DVD and the track-by-track commentary, I understand now why the album sounds this way. Going into the studio, according to Braun, they were not organized at all. Half of this stuff you hear on the album was improvised. Whereas before, they had always rehearsed the living shit out of their material. All they did was change the creative process, and look at where it got them. This album is probably going to be a commercial success. And, frankly, after hearing this album and having it grow on me, I can't wait to see these guys in mid-November. An 8.5 out of 10 for Mastodon's The Hunter. This is Danny here from Metal Couch. Take it easy. Subscribe. Like my Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter. I'm signing off.